What is going on, you guys? Welcome to the Jonathan Dearman Show. And today I want to talk to you about the fact that very sadly, fashion designer Kate Spade and celebrity chef and CNN host Anthony Bourdain committed suicide. My heart sincerely goes out to all the friends and family of these two people, and I can't even imagine what they're going through right now. And in this video, I just want to answer two questions. Number one, why is the suicide rate going up? And number two, what can we do about it? But before I go into that, in case you didn't know this, suicide is now the second biggest cause of death in teenagers, which just breaks my heart. The fact that so many teenagers feel that hopeless and lost. And in fact, if anyone's watching this video right now and you're dealing with depression or suicidal thoughts, please talk to somebody, reach out to someone, whether it's going to your local church and talking to somebody there, or you could call the suicide hotline, which is open 24/7. But just know you're not alone in this. Things can and will absolutely get better. Just start out by reaching out to somebody. And in fact, before we move on, let's take a look at this video to watch a guy share his story of when he attempted to commit suicide.
Since 1937, over 2,000 people have died at the Golden Gate Bridge. I feel lucky to be alive every single day. Of the thousands that have died off the Golden Gate Bridge, I am of the 1% who have survived. I got off the bus, I walked slowly down the walkway of the Golden Gate Bridge. People rode by me, drove by me, walked by me, and a woman approached me and she said, "Will you take my picture?" She said thanks and she walked away. It was that moment I just said, nobody cares. The reality was that everybody cared. I just couldn't see it. I ran forward, and using my two hands, I catapulted myself into free fall. What I'm about to say is the exact same thing that 19 Golden Gate Bridge jump survivors have also said. The millisecond my hands left the rail, it was an instant regret. And I remember thinking, no one's gonna know that I didn't want to die. In 4 seconds, I fell 75 miles an hour, 25 stories, and I hit the water. I was in the most physical pain I had ever experienced, The Coast Guard was amazing. He was just so freaked out that I was alive that he just dove in and brought me on board. The guy said, "Do you know how many people we pull out of this water that are already dead?" And I said, "No, and I don't want to know." The guy put his hand on my forehead and said, "Kid, you're a miracle. If you're suffering mentally, don't wait like I did, sitting in denial for so long. Because recovery happens. I'm living proof."
Thank God he's still alive. All right, I want to give you my opinion on the two questions that I listed earlier, and I'll start with the first one. Why is the suicide rate going up? And in my opinion, there's multiple reasons why it's going up. Obviously, a huge factor is that the depression rate is going up as well. That ties into it. But then I think another big reason why is the current lack of meaning that we have in our nation. I don't think it's a coincidence that as religion is going down in our nation, that suicide rates are going up. And whether or not you agree with it, when you tell somebody from the time that they're a child that really there's no purpose in life, that they weren't created intentionally, that there's really not a huge difference between human beings and animals, that we're a little bit more evolved, but it's not like we're worth more because this whole thing was an accident. It's just the universe happened to create us, and it's just a big coincidence. And when you tell people that from the time that they're kids, of course they're gonna grow up feeling like there's not really much meaning except for to just live, have fun, do what you want, get some pleasure, and die. And when we realize that pleasure's not satisfying us, then we have nowhere to go. They need a reason to go through the tough times. What's the light at the end of the tunnel? And when you don't see why there's a reason to carry on, then you can start feeling hopeless. I'm a Christian, and I believe that every human being was created with purpose and with a calling. I know some people believe that religion or Christianity is just helpful. Some people believe that it's not just helpful, that it's the truth. I'm one of those people. I believe it's true. I don't just believe it's helpful. But I think really anyone should be able to acknowledge the correlation here, that as religion's going down, the suicide rate is going up. And whether or not you buy into Christianity, that it's truthful, I think at the very least you can accept that it is helpful in a lot of scenarios with giving people purpose. People tend to do better when they feel like they have a purpose, a meaning in life, a reason to live. And that's not to say that no atheist can feel like they have a purpose. I'm sure there are a lot of atheists that out there that do feel like they have a purpose. They're on a mission, whether that's to feed the hungry, to help people that are in need, to educate the people that need an education, whatever it is. I mean, I'm sure there are many atheists out there that do have a personal purpose and a mission that they're after. And I think that's important for all human beings, that we have a void and an emptiness inside of us, that if we don't fill it with something, then it'll be left with nothing. And the second question that I want to answer is, what can we do about it? And I think there are a lot of different things that we can do to try to help this situation. But one of the biggest things that I think is a good place to start is with our media. I think the media could do a much better job at not portraying life, particularly in music, but then also in movies, TV shows, making it look like life is all about getting famous or getting wealthy, having fun, do whatever pleasures you, and that's what life is about. But then you look at the people that have those very things, celebrities, and they seem to be some of the most miserable people in a lot of cases. And I feel bad for a lot of them, that they're dealing with depression. They're constantly in and out of failed marriages. They're often on drugs. You see, so sadly, the suicide rate with celebrities is going up. I mean, these are people that especially young people, but adults too, aspire to be like, and they think, well, if I could only have what they have, then I would be happy. But it's very clear to see that stuff obviously doesn't make you happy, because so many celebrities that get there, they get the fame, they get the money, they get the girl, the guy, they get the big house, the car, that they're not happy. And one of the reasons why I believe that they're struggling is because they get the success that they're looking for. And when they get there, they realize it's not satisfying me. I'm not happy still. I thought I would be happy when I got famous. I thought I would be happy when I got rich. But I got here and I'm still not fulfilled. And where do they go from there? And I think they end up feeling a sense of hopelessness, like, well, I have everything I ever wanted and I still don't feel fulfilled. What do I do now? And so again, what can we do about it? I think it can start with our society, the media, but also you and me. Making it clear to the people around us that life is not all about pleasure. Life is not all about getting rich, getting famous. Life really is about helping other people. That should be the purpose in life. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with having nice stuff. I enjoy nice stuff. But if that's what your life is about, just having fun and getting more money and more stuff, I think you are going to end up feeling like you have some emptiness inside. Because again, although all that stuff's great, it's not worth living for. Money, fame, success, pleasure is not worth living for. Many studies have shown that the happiest people on earth are not the people with the most money, with the most fame. It's people who spend their life helping other people. And that's actually where I'm going to leave it today. But I want to pass the questions off to you guys. I know there are multiple different reasons and answers for these two questions. So I want to know what you guys think. Number one, why do you think the suicide rate is going up? What's the biggest factor playing in there? Number two, what do you think we can do about it? And as always, I'll be responding to all the comments that come in on this video. Make sure you hit the subscribe button so you don't miss out on any of our videos. And also, if you like what I'm trying to do here, hit that like button because it really does help. And other than that, I will see you at the next Jonathan Dearman Show.